Easy video to make. I mean, I just can't seem to get around to writing a script for it. Is it working? Hello. People will freak. I will freak out. Something, hello and welcome to the World Builders Library. We do world building here. Whoopee. Something clever about being in the library. I don't know what that is supposed to mean. My name is Lewis Nichols. Yeah, I'm old. I've DM'd since you were a baby. Just get through this. No edit. No edits. Yeah, that sounds reasonable, right? Are you the kind of DM that worries about geography? Geology? It's about geography in your game? Geology. Geology. Are you the kind of DM that thinks about geology in your game? If you are, you probably spend too much time thinking about your world building. It's a cruel, terrible trap. But if you can't help it, or are generally just trying to get weird, go ahead and listen to the rest of this video. If you want to make your mountains and stuff look normal, because normal means something whenever you're playing a game with dragons and fireballs and flump. We all know that the most important thing, catching hate when you publish your things. I will freak out. I will attack you physically in the comments. Never split your rivers. People will freak out. It's number one. It's if there were sins in D&D, that's it. Don't split your rivers. Stand tall, never gonna fall. Really don't care. I messed up my script. Do we know how mountains work on Earth? You guys know that? Subduction, plate tectonic, words you probably studied in. Have a high school class on geography? Geology? Geology was probably part of geography, wasn't it? It's not the same thing. And then you have cultural geography. I really do care. When plates crash together, they drive up mountains. When they drift apart, volcanoes emerge. Basically, when you got two plates together, bad things happen, geotechnically speaking. My degree is not in rocks, by the way. It's in history, so I mean, we could talk about the history of earthquakes. Not why we're here. We're here because one dude wanted to hear about my geology. We're not talking about geography, we're talking about geology. On Pellicar, my primary game world, and eternal world building project. Stuff like this, it looks like it happens, but it doesn't really happen. I mean, maybe it used to. My world does look pretty earthy. It's bigger. It's the size of Uranus. Top notch. The thing is, geologic time, it's really long. So if you want to run a realistic world, and if you want to have tectonic things involved, you've got to cover 100,000, maybe 100 years. But or just, if you want to have one volcanic eruption, that's when the campaign, that's a good idea. Pellicar has seen some pretty dramatic changes over the years. It's recognizable, more interesting these days. Pellicar has gone through ages. It's even gone through a few different game systems. The start of ages are volatile. New gods are being born, reshaping the world in their image, often reshaping the land as they see fit. I have no idea what my sound quality is going to be. It's probably going to be bad. Believe me, a well-motivated god can raise a mountain quicker than simple plate tectonics. Islands pop up, they sink, rivers get rerouted. It's very exciting. The end of ages can be just as bad when cosmic forces are getting flushed down the toilet. Desperate bids to remain relevant. Magic becomes so common at the end of ages that powerful mortals can even do this stuff. Create canyons, blow up whole continents, things like that. Natural laws just can't compete. During normal times, nature is maintained by spirits and elementals. These are extremely important things in the day-to-day operations of my world. They become attached to jobs, big and small. It's a whole hierarchy. Greater elementals, elemental lords, little minor elementals, all doing work, or not doing work. Elemental is not part of this system. You can just have a random earth elemental. Spirits tend to maintain processes, while elementals are your contractors pioneering new work. Stop distracting me, please. This isn't a big behind the scenes look at how my game world works. However, since you asked, if you go back to some of the ancient tomes, you guys ever seen this? Surely I've told you these stories about the book we published. It sucks. You'll find that spirits are very, very clearly split up between the Psalmus, the Daucus, and the Emus. Don't worry about it. The big guys, the Emus, they might be assigned to whole continents, like a Lake Emus might be, running like the Great Lakes. An Earth Emus is responsible for the tectonic activity throughout a larger region, like the Northern Crest and the Heston area. You have smaller geological zone that something big. Your mid-range creatures in the spiritual hierarchy. Well, lower mid-range creatures, whatever. Your middle management. Geological zones. They're really what everything's kind of based on from a campaign zone perspective. We're talking about distinct areas, hundreds of thousands or low millions of square miles, something like a mountain range, a big valley, a big river. The zones overlap between different types of spirits and elementals, depending on what the job is. There might be special zones of consideration. It's a level of the campaign and world building you can add if you want to. You can make it central. It fits in well if you're doing Fey Realm stuff. Not necessarily Fey Realm, but Fey adjacent, where nature is a big thing. Spirits can be NPCs. Keep in mind there's other kinds of spirits. This is where my old stop distracting me game system homebrew overlaps with my 5e world building. I try to stick to 5e as much as I can. Not any given 5e build. Stop distracting me. Geological zones. Supposed to be a freaking 5-minute video. Earth spirits oversee their area. They might command elementals or minor spirits to generate iron deposits or other mineable things. Things to make the campaign world functional and interesting. Keep in mind, core concept of my idea of world building, campaign creation, the existence of the game within the game world, is that it is in everybody's best interest to create adventuring types, and to create adventuring types to do great things, you must present them challenges. All right. That wasn't in the script, by the way. Mid-level guys taking orders from higher spirits. You probably oversee a greater region or area of divine hegemony. We're not getting into that. There is another video about it. I think it's called Religion. I don't know. I come up with very original names, so it shouldn't be hard to figure out. It's a better video than this one. I'm saying this is like bottom 5% quality. So if you like this, you're sick and go away. The gods will have an agenda, and spirits are going to be involved. But usually, they're just maintaining the status quo. Observance to the right god might start or stop. I was going to say stop the earthquakes, but it can go either way. Maybe the rumble is a side effect of some work being done. Maybe it's just a subtle reminder that the god of the earth needs to be observed, worshipped, and maybe even sacrificed to. It might be a call to action for adventurers to get involved in their world and do their part. Stop being murder hobos. It's time to save the world again. You can make Earth geology work in a highly magical world. You don't have to. And one of the big problems is a significant subterranean biome. Hard to mix it in with Earth geology. I don't know if you guys have ever studied the great caves of Earth, this planet that most of us live on. But they're they're not really great for adventuring. There's hardly any room for giants to, eke out an ecosystem, or for Malians, or, I mean, the biggest cave system on Earth is going to be good for maybe 15 drow to live in on a permanent basis. So, yeah, this is fantasy. Don't try to earth it up too much. Oh, we're rambling. I do like natural caves in a D&D world where you're going up and down and crawling and banging your shins, and it's a different kind of thing. It's exciting to, oh, we're so far off. It's exciting to, get your party in a position, awkward positions where they're having to fight creatures that are made for this kind of terrain. It also lets smaller NPCs with dungeon crawler, cave crawler attributes an advantage that everybody should find in time, but you don't have to. You're going to have lots in D&D dungeons and caves and stuff, so do what you want. Yeah, so an extensive subterranean world is going to have a hard time getting along with Earth-type tectonics. Things are, you got magna flows, you're going to have earthquakes, and it's not a matter of will these things last for a campaign period, but most of these, underneath, underdark, underwear type things have been around for, are supposed to have been around for a long time, long enough for cultures to grow up and develop. So even if you make an assumption they're going to be blasted by earthquakes every 1,000 years, and that hurts your system badly. You can work around it, have all the fun you want. But back to the script. Look at the top cave systems around the world, and it's going to be the very first clue that D&D worlds work different. For me, it's the labor of spirits and elementals that make for a complex cave system. You have a lot of options, but it's something that deserves some thought. That's the key. That's one of the core lessons. Put thought into what you're doing. That includes tectonics and your geology. Just give it a half hour think as you drift off into your next nap. What is the driving force that creates all these caves? And if there's an earthquake on your world, why is it happening? What about volcanoes? What about all that kind of fun stuff? Just use your brain. The results will vary. Hey, we're done. I'm going to leave it there. I think my world, for the most part, is Earth-like in many regards. It appears that way, but in reality, it's really not. And that's always your dichotomy whenever you're world building. It looks that way, but it's really not. It can apply to sports. I have a game that I call baseball. It's pretty close to baseball, but it's not baseball. Do I define the differences? No, don't care. Functionally, in the game, in the interface between my headspace and the campaign, it's baseball. And the same thing goes with tectonics. If there's an earthquake, it does the same thing. Things rattle, things fall. People have to make saving throws. There's some damage. There's rescue attempts. It's a whole thing. And maybe you have to go and make it more than a thing, than because you have to defeat the Earth Dragon or whatever. But let's see here. We got some more words on the script as usual. Talking into the camera makes this very long. I just said that. Even leveled adventurers aren't necessarily going to know all this works. You don't have to explain the physics of your world to your characters. We get along in this world just fine, and we don't know shit. They don't need to shit about their world. Oh, bad words. Don't cuss, kids. Not everything about the world is easy knowledge. I just said that. On the other hand, I know that there are those who are quite in tune to the spirit world, whether it be something like druids or nature priests or whatever. As a DM, do what you want. You're not there for your players. They're there for you. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I'm still not really sure if this thing's working. Hello? If you can hear the words coming out of my mouth, thank you for stopping by. You all are very important to me. You're important to this world. We're glad you're here. You're cool. See you later. Cheers. Sorry. All right.